Right now on KREM 2 News at noon, fire crews are making progress on 2 wildfires that forced evacuations during the past few days. Plus, today we'll hear from a homeowner who lost some of his property during that fire.
And after a cool start to this Monday morning, we've got blue skies and temperatures are warming up, but the high heat is not through with us this month.
At this hour, what is next for NASA after it was forced to delay the Artemis launch, which was expected to happen today? Hi, everyone, and welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. It is good to see you. I'm Laura Papetti. It is noon right now, and we're going to begin by taking a live look outside on this sunshiny day. As you can see, lots of blue skies out there. Temperatures are fairly mild this afternoon, at least so far. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick, he is joining us right now. And Thomas, it was a really pleasant morning.
It was, and it was a great weekend. You get a chance to get outside, enjoy that sunshine and the cooler weather, Laura?
Oh, we loved it. We even went walking through the park last night. It was
wonderful.
So nice.
Yeah, I hit up Tacos and Tequila yesterday. Great to get outside, but I tell you, still in the sun, it was still pretty warm, and even that was just a 70-degree day. But today is going to be in the 80s. The rest of the week, probably in the 90s. The summer season is not through with us, even though we did have a nice cool morning. It's 77 degrees right now, but there were plenty of locations well into the 40s, including at 40 degrees in Deer Park, and I saw temperatures as low as 37 in St. Mary's, Idaho this morning on Up with KREM. In Spokane, we had 54 for our low temperature today, so a cooler, more fall-like morning, but that kind of feeling goes away pretty quickly when you get the hot sunshine overhead, and it's going to stay that way all day long today. Those temperatures will top out at around 86 degrees or about 10 degrees warmer compared to yesterday. And that's just the start of it, because the rest of this week is going to be well into the 90s, and there could once again be triple digits for parts of the inland Northwest. Going to be a record-setting August temperature-wise for us, and I'll show you how we finish out this month in just a couple minutes.
Thomas, thank you. An update at this noon hour on a fire burning near Highway 2 in Airway Heights. Fire officials report the deep wood fire is now 90% contained. Also, as of now, evacuations have been lifted, so all of them have been lifted. The fire burned an area just west of Fairchild Air Force Base. Nicole Hernandez was out at the fire scene for hours this morning and talked with one homeowner who lost a shed in the fire.
So right now we're just north of Highway 2 on Ritchie Road, and this area right here was under level 3 evacuations yesterday and into last night. Overnight, they were able to lift those level 3 evacuations. You can see though behind me, we are in a burn scar area of this fire. You can see a hose on the hot spot right here that was burning bark early this morning. The fire here spread around this person's house and actually got close to the house, burning one shed. So at last update, crews say the fire is 98% contained. It burned over 100 acres. DNR says the fire burned 2 structures, and crews are going to be working on putting out hot spots throughout today. I was able to speak with the owner of one of the sheds that burned down. His name is Bill Strope. He says the fire spread quickly, wrapping around his house.
Wife asked me, what do I take from the house? And I just said, you go. So if it would have hit the house, we would have lost everything.
So this right here is what's left of that shed. Bill says he's thankful he and his wife are safe and that crews were able to save their house. Him, along with neighbors, helped fight the fire and dig lines as well. He was actually so close to the fire that when air support came through to drop water on the fire, he says he got a little bit of a shower. At this point, we still do not know what sparked this fire, but crews will be here on scene, a fire investigator as well, to figure out exactly what happened. In Airway Heights, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Again, looking at that dramatic video from the Palisades fire, which we continue to track at this noon hour. It is, of course, the fire burning west of Spokane. KREM 2 spoke with crews just a few hours ago, and they say containment is now up to 50%. That is double where it was yesterday. More than 30 firefighters are on scene this noon hour, along with 6 engines and 3 water tenders. Right now, evacuation notices are still sitting at level 1. Spokane County Emergency Management says the plan is to keep the evacuations in place at least for today. The fire sparked on Friday afternoon and quickly burned about 41.5 acres of trees and brush. So for any of the updates on wildfires burning throughout the inland Northwest, just text the word fire. Text the word fire to our text line 509-448-2000. We'll send a text back with a link with much more information. Coming in new at noon, in the last half hour, closing arguments wrapped up in the trial of a former Spokane police officer accused of rape while on duty. The case is now headed to the jury. In the past week of testimony, the court heard from both victims, the wife of the accused, and psychologists as well. The former officer on trial, Nathan Nash, also took the stand in his own defense on Thursday. KREM 2 is in the courtroom right now, and we will continue to bring you updates on the case on KREM 2 News at 4 and always online on KREM.com. Also happening in the next few hours, the man arrested in connection to a violent attack along the Centennial Trail in Spokane is expected in court. Police say 25-year-old Michael Trout attacked a woman who was running on the trail near Kendall Yards last week. KREM 2 spoke with the victim over the phone, and she told us she believes the man was trying to kill her. At this point, investigators are not sure of the motive. Also in court this afternoon, the final 3 members of a white nationalist group are expected to appear in Kootenai County Court for their arraignment, coming more than 2 months after a group members were found in the back of a U-Haul and arrested for conspiracy to commit a riot at Coeur d'Alene Pride. So far, all of the men have pleaded not guilty. The first 2 trials are expected to begin coming up September 19th. And in less than an hour from now, the city of Spokane will hold a public safety meeting, and the safety of our city's parks could be a topic of discussion. 8 people have been shot in Spokane parks in the past week. In the most recent shooting, 1 person was killed at Franklin Park in North Spokane early Saturday morning. 3 others are still in the hospital. Earlier last week, 4 people were shot in Dutch Jake Park in West Central Spokane. According to the latest crime report, aggravated assaults are up 5% throughout the city compared to this time last year.
I have not seen this level of violence in the 30 years that I've been here. Something like this, like a homicide, is well documented and easily reported. What people need to remember is there are a lot of crimes that are extremely violent that actually don't get reported as a violent crime.
Detectives are still investigating the shootings. They are asking people who live nearby to check if their home security cameras caught any video of what happened. And coming up in the next half hour, we expect to learn more about a shooting at a supermarket in Bend, Oregon. Police say the shooting began when a gunman entered a Safeway grocery store. The gunman shot and killed someone at the store's entrance, then killed another person inside.
It was loud enough to make me and 3 other employees ran into a walk-in refrigerator and closed the door and stayed there. We stayed hidden until the authorities arrived.
People were running out of Safeway, and I mean, the police were here though in a matter of like 5 seconds of that happening.
When police entered the store, the gunman was dead. The police chief says officers did not fire any shots. A semi-automatic rifle and a shotgun were found by the gunman's body. Police have scheduled a news conference at 12:30 to share more details. So again, in about 22 minutes. And those updates we'll have for you right here on KREM 2 News at 4 o'clock and always throughout the afternoon on KREM.com. We do have a traffic alert for drivers who take North Monroe Street this noon hour. Lane closures are in place as city crews start a pavement maintenance project. This is new video at the noon hour, where you can see traffic is squeezed down to 1 lane in the area north of the Monroe Street Bridge. Now, let's take a look, show you a map of the project site. The northbound lane in Monroe Street from the Monroe Street Bridge to Boone Avenue will be closed until September 21st. Phase 2 will then begin closing the southbound lanes, and we'll certainly keep you updated. It was a no-go for NASA's new moon rocket that was scheduled to blast off this morning. Fuel leaks and engine issues forced the space agency to scrub the launch. Skylar Henry takes a look at what is next for the Artemis 1 mission.
About the time the launch window opened, NASA called off the first liftoff attempt.
This is Artemis Launch Control with an update. Launch Director Charlie Blackwell-Thompson has called a scrub.
It didn't come as a complete surprise. There were repeated stops and starts of fueling overnight.
Leak detection equipment went off and stopped the fill of liquid hydrogen during fast fill.
Crews were able to mostly fill the tanks when they discovered an engine bleed that couldn't be remedied. Fuel leaks were also a problem during a practice run back in the spring. NASA Communication Officer Daryl Nail discussed it with Administrator Bill Nelson.
This is a very complicated machine, a very complicated system, and all those things have to work. And you don't want to light the candle until it's ready to go.
The earliest opportunity to try again would be this Friday afternoon, but that all depends on whether engineers can fix the engine bleed.
Monday's scrub was a disappointment for thousands of people who flocked to the Space Coast hoping to witness the launch of NASA's most powerful rocket. And there's a lot riding on this test drive for NASA's return to the moon. Astronaut Christina Cook is part of the Artemis team.
We're going back to stay this time for innovation, for inspiration, and of course for that interplanetary aspect of our next step onto Mars.
NASA hopes to land people on the moon's south pole as early as 2025. Skyler Henry, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.